In the dual capacity framework, I identify what we call the essential conditions. These are the conditions that we have found through the research. So these are evidence-based conditions that are absolutely necessary if you want to build strong relationships of trust and respect with families. And so the piece on the relationship part is what we often skip over when we are engaging with families. So I'll give you an example. Pretty much every educator, particularly our teachers, have to make a phone call home at some point to families. And often what you hear from families is, I don't even like to pick up those calls because there's always something negative about my child. What has my child done now? And so the dual capacity framework in action changes those phone calls from always only being about negative things to being about positive things, and also being about building a relationship with a parent or an adult caretaker. Because when we say parent, we mean all adult caretakers. So I actually have my students engage in a phone call home exercise where we take the process conditions in the dual capacity building framework and we create a scenario where we're embracing those conditions when we make a phone call home to a parent. So all of a sudden, the call becomes very different. People's tone of voices become very different. When they answer the phone, it's like, "Hi, Mrs. Johnson, this is your child's teacher. And, even though I'm the expert on the content in this class, you are the expert on your child. And the reason why I'm calling you today is because I'd like to know everything that you know about your child because it's going to help me be a better teacher. And I can't do this without you, quite frankly. So I hope you don't mind that I'll be calling often, maybe to ask you for some help or ask you some questions. And, what are your hopes and dreams for your child this year? And when can we get together to talk about it? It becomes a much more a conversation about partnership. And so this is what we try to get schools to do, is to take the dual capacity framework, take the things you may already be doing with families that quite frankly aren't working, and repurpose them according to the conditions that we set out in the framework.